Hey everyone, welcome back. In this video, I'm going to walk you through 5 real-world Kubernetes pod failure scenarios. Most engineers get this wrong, and I have seen these exact issues take down production systems during peak traffic. This one video will save you hours of late-night debugging. We are looking at the most common and often most frustrating reasons pods fail in production. Let's get right into the diagnostics. Specifically, we will cover missing configuration files, memory limit violations, container registry authentication errors, failing readiness probes, and finally, node-level resource exhaustion. These are the topics we are going to cover, so do not skip ahead. Watch all the way through to actually understand this properly. Quick note, before we dive in, this channel shares practical IT tutorials every week. So if that's useful to you, hit subscribe and join our WhatsApp community linked in the description for more resources. If you need a refresher on the basics of what a pod is, we have a full deep dive on that topic already on this channel, so check the link in the description for that. So why is this pod in a crash loop? You run the get pods command and see the status, right? Then you check the logs. It tells you exactly what is wrong. The application cannot find a required configuration file. So why does this happen? The container starts up and immediately looks for a file. If your deployment manifest has a mismatch in the volume mount path, the file system remains empty. The application panics and dies. That is exactly why it enters a crash loop. The fix is to ensure your volume mount path matches the application requirement. Here, we map the config volume to the specific directory the app expects. Update your deployment, apply the change, and the container will start successfully. Next up, the OOMKilled status. This is the #1 cause of production instability. You see exit code 137, which is the Linux kernel signal 9. It means the process tried to use more memory than the limit you set. So why does this happen? The container runtime enforces the memory limit. If your app attempts to allocate even a single megabyte beyond that limit, the kernel intervenes. It sends a terminate signal and kills the pod immediately. This is not a graceful shutdown. The fix is to monitor your actual usage and set realistic limits. If you are consistently hitting the limit, increase the memory. If the usage is erratic, optimize your application code to handle memory more efficiently. Third, the dreaded image pull error. You see ImagePullBackOff and the pod never starts. This is almost always an authentication or networking issue. So why does this happen? The node needs to pull the image from your registry. If that registry is private, your node needs a Kubernetes secret with valid credentials. If that secret is missing or the registry is down, the pull fails repeatedly. The fix is to create a Docker registry secret and link it to your service account. Once that secret is in place, update your deployment to reference it in the image pull secrets field. Then the node can authenticate and pull the image. Scenario 4. The pod is running, but it is not receiving traffic. You see 0 of 1 ready. When you describe the pod, you see the readiness probe is failing. So why does this happen? A readiness probe checks if your app is ready to take traffic. If your probe is configured to hit a path that is not yet ready, or if the timeout is too short, the load balancer will never send traffic to this pod. The fix is to adjust the initial delay. Give your application enough time to start up. If it takes 30 seconds to connect to the database, your delay should be at least 35 seconds. This prevents the probe from marking the pod as unhealthy prematurely. Finally, the pending state. You see insufficient CPU or memory. The scheduler cannot find a node that has enough free capacity to fit your pod. So why does this happen? Kubernetes has to place every pod on a physical node. If all your nodes are already running at 90% capacity, and your new pod needs 10%, it might not fit. The scheduler just gives up. The fix is to add more nodes to your cluster. Either manually scale the node pool or enable cluster autoscaling. So Kubernetes adds nodes automatically when pods are pending. This solves the resource shortage immediately. Look for these patterns. Always check logs first, because application errors are the most common. Check events for scheduling failures. Use the describe command for resource issues. Keep an eye on restart counts and use the white flag to see which node a pod is landing on. These patterns will make you faster at troubleshooting. Let us recap. CrashLoopBackOff is almost always a config issue. OOMKilled means your limits are too tight. ImagePullBackOff is an auth or registry problem. Readiness probes ensure traffic only goes to ready services. And pending pods mean it is time to scale your cluster capacity. Every one of these is solvable if you know where to look. If this helped you troubleshoot your own pods, hit subscribe and join our WhatsApp community linked in the description for more production-ready resources. We will see you in the next video.